There she is.
This is very nice because I haven't talked to anybody in a really long time, so it's really great to do it digitally. How is everybody?
We're good. It's so good to see you, Faith.
We just introduced you as entirely alone. I hope that's okay with you.
No, it's my whole brand. It's perfectly fine. It's been that way for a very long time. It's just now I don't know, like imposed alone feels like a whole different thing.
I know.
Yeah.
We were actually just saying before this when Claire and I were like, what should we talk about? I was like, well, probably her day-to-day looks pretty similar, actually.
It's like bitter loneliness. So the deal is the way this works is we like have a conversation, but also we're having a conversation with people, and then we answer, and then we just like comment on
the way it works. The way it works, Fiona, is that we just you just pretend that no one's watching you. It's just like acting, actually. You just yeah. And
so
I would know.
Attention on the other person.
Just find my fucking light and just continue.
Exactly. Fine.
So we don't. It's not interactive. We're not like talking to the people.
It can be whatever version of that we want. Like
yeah, if people shout out questions, like
Yeah. How was your guys' week? What the hell are you doing?
Medium good or medium good over here?
Medium good. I made matzah. That was awesome.
Oh, for Passover.
Yeah. I've never attempted to do such ambitious cooking before, but this house is a different level from the house that we were used to, to be honest. So
yeah. Everybody on my block made matzah, and I got given a bowl of soup outside my door, and don't actually know who gave me the matzah.
Mystery soup.
Oh Jesus, that's one. I don't think you should eat that.
I did fucking fully eat it.
Remember that time that chocolate showed up on your porch, but then a raccoon got into them, and it was like,
and we ate it anyway.
We ate them anyway. Seize candy. You can't let that go to waste.
Well, you have like
we ate it.
You have like a real neighborhood with like people. You have like real neighbors. We live in New York normally, where it's like no one talks to each other. But you actually have there's people who don't want to poison you who like put that on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, also, I think one of the most interesting aspects of this, social experiment we're doing is that different neighbors are taking the quarantine more seriously than others, and most of them have kids that usually play together. And so one house has decided with another house down the block that they're going to really, really quarantine so they don't leave ever. So it's left them in a position to not really want to hang out with people who socially distancing to a lesser extent. And everybody psychologically understands it, but it's actually kind of emotionally insidious, especially with the kids. And right. So now we're now, it's not in any way that makes intellectual sense, but like you can feel it kind of permeate and like change the dynamic of the neighborhood. I was like, oh, when all of the quarantine art comes out, it's that has got to be a major theme.
Has it gotten into your dreams yet? I've done a lot of like cleaning in my nightmares. Like I was like at a theme park and I was so excited, but then all I did was scrub the slide. I was like,
yeah, my friend got 8 cats last night.
Oh Jesus.
Well, so fun fact about Cleo and our childhood is our parents were like cat hoarders.
Oh yeah, lots of cats.
like a lot of fucking cats. Yeah, so that to me is like I think a manifestation.
What is your cat situation right now?
I had a cat and I returned the cat because I have no heart. But they said that the cat is definitely going to be adopted. Like I think the cat got adopted.
The other night Cleo was like just kind of quiet for a little while. I was like, "What's going on?" And she was just like, "I can't believe Fiona gave that cat."
It looked so beautiful.
But I mean, the last cat that you had when I was there last year, back when we could travel and had real lives, you had that cat that wasn't even your cat, but you had sort of stolen.
I love that cat, man. Yeah.
Blam.
Yeah.
Who was like so clearly on death's doorstep that it was just honestly like I was scared to get near it in case it would die when I was like in the room with it.
Yeah. That cat actually, it died.
Yeah.
It did. It lasted a couple months after that.
Yeah.
But it was a cool cat. I remember your sister came over and saw it. Was like, I feel immediately emotionally connected to this cat. It was like, it was a grouchy old man, right?
Weird, like.
Well, it had an existential feeling to that cat, where it was
Didn't
like, hey, this cat will die soon, so we're all contending with our own mortality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
and he was like fighting death a little bit. You know, he wasn't like there was a lot of big themes there. You know.
Yeah.
It wasn't that easy for him. You know.
It was a struggle being bland.
Right. So we talked. We all talked on an actual FaceTime with no audience. Whatever, like a week ago, and you started talking about how you were in a show about a global pandemic, and then we stopped you.
We never got to hear about it.
Wait, so we want to hear about it now. What was the show?
Yes, and everybody who's watching, though, you guys might actually care about this. And I picked my mug. So I'm in The Stand, which is coming out in 2020. And I have to tell you, I did like a talk to the camera Instagram story right after I had finished shooting some aspect of it, because I was so excited about the quality of the show. Like, it's Whoopi Goldberg is playing. If you guys know the story is wonderful. It's Stephen King's, I think his most famous work. It was written in the 70s, and it's I think the most famous pandemic fiction that exists.
Uh-oh. We lost her.
Sorry, I didn't. There we go. Anyway, it's just made so well. I watched the dailies and they're so good. So Whoopi Goldberg is Mother Abigail, and the devil is Alexander Skarsgård, and it's got like Nat Wolff and just millions of movie stars. And I saw, and the amount of money and like quality they put. It's Jeff Boone is the series runner, and then it was taken over by the two guys who did Justified, and they were so good. And I can't remember their name because I'm horrible.
Well,
but anyway, I play obviously one of the devil's sidekicks, Ratman.
You were covered in blood, right? Like you have to be.
What?
You have to be covered in blood.
No, I'm just disgusting. I mean, I'm like the covered in blood role got me that role, but no, I'm dressed. At one point, my costume is made out of what, rope and human hair.
Oh, God.
And it cost $30,000. My costume.
Did you at least meet the person whose hair it was, or was it a corpse?
I hope it was. You know what it was? Is it was like a lady who has like less money and she's in Bangladesh.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
Right.
But anyway, my point being is like we wrapped. I think they wrapped in like the beginning of March. I wrapped in probably February 20th or something, and then came home and watched like scene for scene the book and show unfold in real life. And I was like texting people. I was like, what the fuck? And it's basically 98% of the population is killed, and then what happens after. And the show's going to be really good, and I think everybody's going to watch it. It's going to be really fun.
Where can we watch it when it's out?
CBS All Access, which is their app, but like who knows what they're going to do with it. I don't know.
We'll all wear our hairiest outfits in support.
Oh, thanks.
Seriously. Wait, so actually,
Do you guys have hairy outfits?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just get your cats and put your cats all over yourself.
Let's pivot from The Stand. Anyway, watch The Stand. I'll be sure to post about it. I have a bunch of insane pictures that I really want to post of me like in a fucked up nurse's outfit, and I was like, but I just didn't do it.
what's the element of this whole thing that was the least or the most unexpected versus like the show? Like, if a lot of it was similar to how the show played out, what was different about actually how this pandemic has played out?
I mean, what I think the most unexpected thing is the similarities. Is Stephen King needs to do an interview. Like, it is so it's sort of hard to get beyond that, right? It was just like, you know, he had described this this press conference that basically happened where like Trump looked kind of sick, you know?
I remember that.
He was like kind of
Breathing
coughing.
heavily. Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Breathing.
And it's right before Trump died, you know, they just like everybody dies. But in the book, you know, from incubation to death, it's flu-like symptoms and you're dead within about 2 weeks. Oh my God, it's the same.
Yeah, so
scary.
exactly, seriously. Sorry, I just want to just stop this very serious and important thing to point out that many people have asked you to sing so far, which is, I think, probably the first time that that's ever happened.
Well, I mean,
Are people asking me to sing? Really?
a little ditty for us.
Sing.
How many,
Like,
You're
how
on
many
the
people
couch.
are on this thing?
This is the spot of your listening
47.
to Frightened Rabbit. So you could give us a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should,
Well,
I know. Should we send a note?
I can say I can tell everyone who's watching right now that I have heard Fiona sing many times, and that may not be exactly what you want right now.
Fiona has a lot of talents, you know? Fiona has a lot of talents, but singing might not be one of them.
Dancing,
I
think she can do.
Right.
think I think we're all actually pretty terrific dancers.
I'm not.
That's not true.
You have a lot of
That's not
enthusiasm.
true.
We did do the headphone dance party that one time. So
Ellis, you can totally get down.
Yeah.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. When we were-
Asking you, Cleo,
when we were out there, so Cleo and I were staying with you last year. So you had your existential almost dead cat. Also, you were on the Frightened Rabbit kick where you were just listening to Frightened Rabbit all the time.
that lasted until.
Is it still happening? I feel like you can't call it a kick if it's still happening.
No, but I'd say it ended like a month ago.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
So it was like a full fucking year.
Wow.
That's a lot of Frightened Rabbit.
Dark.
I haven't talked to my therapist about it.
What are you listening to now?
A lot of classical.
What's that?
A lot of classical. So so my friend Ellis came to stay with me, and he looked at my classical collection on Spotify, and it was like Mozart, and so he looked me up.
Like Mozart.com, like question mark.
And so now I have access to this like really beautiful music. So I've been listening to that, and then what else? I haven't had much opportunity to listen to music, which is I wonder what's happening with across the board, right? Streaming's been down.
Yeah, streaming for music is down like 10%. I think for film it's probably different, but
I feel like it's the commutes, right? Because you're not stuck in your car all day. But if anyone's stuck at home and they want some good tunes, this guy.
well,
Oh yes,
that's okay. You answered incorrectly, Fiona. That's fine. Don't worry. Yeah.
Let me serve it up.
Yeah. No, totally. I've also had that album for a year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I love that album.
You had like the demo version album. Actually, you're sort of a dangerous person to involve in the process because I send you the demos when they're like halfway done, and then you like them, and then you get attached to the demos, and then when I send you the actual thing, you're like, I like
Does
the
that
demo.
happen to everybody?
Yeah, I get really hooked on the early stuff too, because it's also like often more raw and sort of like grungy, and then
Grunge?
yeah, because it's sometimes like him singing in his
Oh,
voice.
God.
Those are the funniest ones.
May you
early
all
ones.
never hear that,
Oh,
please.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can you sing, Ellis?
No, the answer is basically no. And it's also, I think that I'm not that interested in the concept of singing. I like controlling the thing, but from like the side, you know? So I don't think I would do well as an actor either.
He did just do a tape with me though. He's gotten a lot better at reading lines in these audition scenarios and trying to listen.
You have to train them. Yeah. You have to train them.
So Cleo's doing she's auditioning for like an NCIS type thing that it's like, it's weird because no one can cast anything right now or nothing's happening. So Cleo keeps getting these auditions that are like for casting directors, but it's like one thing, it's just like, just do this because we need to watch something because we're casting
like there is no job, but you want to have some.
Wait, are you getting them through? So fun fact, Cleo and I have the same agency. And I it's been like crickets. In fact, me and my agent are good friends, so he sends me all of those gifs of the naked guy. I hear from my agent many times a day.
I have like
We're
3
sending
people in my
naked
life
gifts.
who send me that same gift. So yeah.
But I thought it was closed. So you're still getting.
Yeah, but you're not doing these auditions. These are like literally, you know, do you want to audition for a thing just for fun because you're bored? Like they're not bothering you.
I would be like, oh my God, yes.
All right, I'll send them. We'll
But what happens on this end is Cleo gets one of these auditions. She gets like really in the headspace to do the acting, but hasn't yet set up the camera or anything. And then she's like, and she's like, okay, we need to start. But then we have to set up the thing. And Cleo's like, I can't be bothered with that right now. We just have to go. And then it's like me or you know.
And then yeah.
So
And-
maybe that's go ahead, yeah.
Have you been training him to not try to say the lines how they should sound, how he thinks they should sound, or is that okay?
It's we've gotten a lot better at that because you know, at first the tendency is like it's
Sorry.
yell, so you must yell now. It's like, whisper, don't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, like now I'm supposed to slam a door.
I'm an underactor. It's fine. I understand. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely it's a mumbly kind of role for me, which I feel a little bit like Alan in that way. Like I'm just like kind of talking.
Oh yeah. And then you're mysterious and forever interesting anyway, which is garbage, but true.
So maybe this is a good segue to one thing I did want to ask though, is that you guys have. So I come from a family of visual artists. Everyone else in my family are visual artists, but I went a different way and did the music thing, which is great because no one in my family knows much about it, and so it just is like it feels like, you know, I got a free pass basically.
Yeah.
You guys did not.
Yeah.
Do that. You come from, so your dad and stepdad are is an actor, Brad Dourif, and you're an actor, and like, so the question is, in this situation, is that a boon, or is that actually, you know, is that something that is kind of a weight that you have to carry, or both?
Also, Cleo, your mom is a writer, a really, really talented writer, and you're also a writer. And like, I always wonder how that goes.
Right. Yeah, Cleo's like a product of like
have,
multiple
like, two-
lines.
Yeah,
And
the
first, like,
funnel.
full on eyebrows. That's your lineage.
Yeah, I always wondered how that is for you. Like, do you send? Also, her taste is so specific. You know. Do you send?
I do now, but it's hard. It was really hard to figure out how to trust my own instincts. I think because I know that I so trust the instincts of those around me, but that's not enough to, you know, get you through. Eventually, you're going to have to know how to do shit yourself. So I think it's been a real journey to like choose when to share things and how many notes to be open to and how to ask for feedback and, you know, make sure that you're honing your own sense of like craft as well and not just relying on those around you to tell you what they think's good. You know?
Yeah, totally. Or a big thing for me was like learning how to disagree. Which is still really hard, you know. It's still really hard to be like, no, actually, I think you guys made this decision because of like, you know, reasons that are kind of larger, and you know, and yeah, which is hard. My relationship with that is like pretty complicated. It's only been my father has only been incredibly supportive, and we've also like we've done auditions together for years, much less so in the last few years since I've been working a lot. But he's a kind of a different kind of actor than me, and
well, I imagine also just that even if you were exactly the same kind of actor, it's like it's just strange to be, you know, having in any situation, like to be having the person that is, you know, that is like a, you know, your parent is also like this sort of, you know, artistic peer or collaborator. Like I remember from writing college application essays. It's like that's a very difficult dynamic to like to feel, right?
But imagine that in addition to the built-in weirdness of the dynamic, sometimes you're reading an audition together and like they're your love interest.
Oh,
like
that's happened.
Like you've done.
Oh yeah.
You guys have had to do. Yeah, it's like.
I have a distinct memory of that I was going to bring up earlier, but I don't. The story doesn't really have an end. Like it has a beginning and middle. But I remember there was this like I auditioned for a lot of like dark characters, and it was this prostitute or whatever, and we had to put me on tape, and it was when my dad was living in LA, and I just had to like come on, you had to like come on to the person, and I just couldn't do it. I was just like, I just, and both of us are professionals, but we like looked at each other and we were like, yeah, we're not gonna,
we're just gonna ignore that part.
We're just gonna leave this one. I'm not gonna do it. I don't know. So what I was saying with my dad being an actor, it's also he has a lot of opinions, and he can talk about work in kind of a lofty, beautiful, artistic way, as you know, Cleo. And I think like that's just wonderful and feels like food for the souls. It's like nourishing, because oftentimes when you're out like in the Hollywood kind of industry of it, you forget what's great about it. And I often have called him before big scary scenes, and he's really helped me. And then the flip side of it is, I'm very much, I look a lot like him, and I'm the lead of a franchise that he, is the like main figure of. So I've been answering
which is the
like,
Chucky franchise, right?
Which is the Child's Play franchise, yeah.
Oh, they know. We've gotten a few Chucky related comments, I think.
Of course. So I've often, been in front of like thousands of people and been asked like, did you audition, and what's your relationship to that? And the truth is like nepotism is real. I mean, it's real in every single industry. I have the access and the opportunities that I have partly because of where I was born, as does everybody, but like very clearly in my case. And I just have to, and I did audition.
It was a great audition. I remember watching that. And you were so nervous. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I was super nervous to do it. And very much being Brad Dourif. Very much being Brad Dourif's daughter, fucking fully plays a part in it. And I just have to, I just have to do the best that I can and hope that, I hope that what I do is worthwhile and deserves it.
My favorite Brad story involving the Chucky thing is that you guys were in that house in your place around Halloween, like a couple years ago, right? Oh. And this is like your neighborhood is like a real neighborhood where everyone comes.
Yeah.
Trick-or-treating. It's like one person every minute is trick-or-treating. And Cleo was saying that like at one point some people came up dressed as Chucky, and Brad just came out and did the voice, and they just like lost their shit.
Oh, really?
That was an amazing moment. I think you were out of town, but
I was gone.
Yeah, it was so
like, can you imagine?
We had two little kids. We had a Chucky and a Tiffany, and they showed up. And your dad was like, I don't wanna. And then we were like, all right, come on, you gotta do it. And he came out and he totally made their night with that.
Oh my God.
It's so good.
So he would only do it on my birthdays the day before Halloween, and he would only do it on my birthday. Because he just like can't. He'll spend the next fucking however many decades of his life just doing the Chucky laugh for people. You know what I mean? He's just like, I'm not gonna go there. By the way, he's a hermit. Have you heard from them? They could be dead. I have no idea.
I spoke to them recently. They're fine, but I don't know if his life has changed that much. He's been just really intense about this computer game, and I think it's like 12 hours a day. Like he is doing this game. He named his
computer game
donkey after you, I think.
The donkey? Oh,
yeah, in the game. Yeah. So he has you nearby, close to his heart.
Thanks, Daddy.
He also
I'm old and I call him Daddy, which is maybe I shouldn't.
He gave me a very good piece of advice for quarantine, which was I called Cleo when she was up there, and I was like, I just am having a hard time. Like, I was having a hard time getting I wasn't getting work done. I had literally driven, I got in the car and drove to my old high school. And then I was like, oh, I must be having like a real mental breakdown. Like if I drove to my old high school, like some shit's going on. And so I was just sitting in the parking lot of Somerset High School. And I called Cleo and was like, ah. And Cleo's like, hold on, Brad wants to talk to you. And Brad got on the phone and he's like, you need some hobbies.
That's
Master of hobbies.
Master of hobbies. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would he got into like computer programming, or he would like spend 3 months building a kitchen witch, and then at the end of it you just had a kitchen witch.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
Pretty sweet.
No. Well, I remember the first time I came to visit you when we started dating.
Oh yeah.
We were like, okay, wait, we'll go stay out in the what's it, like the outback house? The hut. The hut. And it was, we get out there into the hut and it's like full of, first of all, there's like a weird like wax cast of Brad that like you had like defaced at some point when you were like 12.
She had attacked it.
And then
I attacked it.
Literally
I
just
still think about that. I can't believe I did that. Go ahead.
And then there's just the Chucky doll like above the like bedroom. You know what? This is intense.
Oh yeah. Plus, you know, the decor in general is rather spooky because of the tastes of the family. So there's a lot of like vintage dolls and like hair.
It's true. How those two found each other is really kind of exceptional, you know? Because I feel like your mom also has this like, it's like a thriller kind of like art house horror movie vibe, right? And so when you entwine both of them, I don't really know what my dad's is. I wouldn't say it's like, it's probably just horror movie, you know, whatever. But when you entwine both of them, it's just so spooky.
I mean, you have some pretty spooky outfits over there too. I remember being
I'm a product of it.
A while ago, and your neighbor needing us to dress up as like Victorian ghosts, and you were like, no problem.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Pulled out all these outfits.
It's like fucking Wuthering Heights over there. It's like because there was the Renaissance Fair, and you're like, it was just you and me at the time staying there, and you're like, we're going to the Renaissance Fair. And first of all, it was not a problem for you to find any of like 10 dresses that undoubtedly the first, second, and third wearers of that dress are like long dead.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, here, wear this weird necklace, and then we went to the.
Yeah, I actually have incredible pictures of you that I like. I often want to do something with, but I think they walk the line too much. Where it's like Ellis with like a black shirt, but like a like anchor or something. It's like a gold anchor.
Yeah. It's amazing.
With like food on your face.
I've long said this, but it's amazing how much difference a single necklace on a guy will do. Suddenly like, oh wow, it's that guy. Okay, he's got a necklace on.
Oh my god, yeah. You know how many dates I've been on where I was like, I like him, but he was wearing a bracelet. You just like can't.
How is the dating in the time of pandemic? It's great, right? No, you don't have to see him.
FaceTime dates?
It's basically no dating. What you do as a single person is you like clomb on to whoever you were vaguely dating before.
You're like, we're infected now.
We're like, it turns out. No, so I have a sort of thing going with a wonderful man, but we're mostly friends.
Right. Yeah.
But now you're the only people who exist in the world, so you gotta just latch on real tight.
Well, what's annoying about him is he has a kid, so he's being really careful about, he's not seeing anybody. And I can't really be like, dude, fucking relax. So I'm being kind.
Wait, I have one more question that's actually about like real work stuff, which I've always been interested in for both. Which is, okay, so I was just before this, I was on a phone call with a writer who is just sits and writes. So it's no different now versus 3 months ago. They just sit and write, and that's it. You have control of everything. For me, we're gonna have to postpone this tour that's supposed to come up in May and June, which sucks, but like, whatever, it's fine. Like I can kind of and part of that is this feeling of like control over your whole process, right? So like for me as a songwriter, I can like sit down on my little keyboard, like boop boop beep boop, come up with a song, have people record it, whatever, and I have a certain control over that whole thing. As an actor, you don't have control over the process from the very beginning, from the casting process. Even you can walk in the door and it's like, oh, she's got the wrong hair or whatever. So how is it?
I mean, that's actually, that jumps a little bit more than that. That's not quite, I mean, you're not quite the babe in the woods totally, right? Like at some point you have a little bit more control. So it's not, it doesn't continue.
Well,
like
so I
that,
guess that was my question, was about that, right? So it's about control of your thing. So like you're either way, you're a cog in a machine, right? Like you're one of a bunch of people who are in this show. Like, so how do you find a way to exert control over your parts and like make it feel like it's something that's coming from you, and that you're expressing yourself in a certain way while also being a team player?
Yeah. Do you have an answer to that, Cleo? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think in general, my response to that is trying to make a lot of my own stuff, because as an actor, I feel quite powerless. And as a writer, I can at least like sit there and be like, I'm going to do a thing today. And it's going to be, I'm going to feel productive by the end of the day. But from an acting standpoint, yeah, I guess like all we have at our disposal really are our own experiences and our own takes on things and our own perspective. So I've been trying to like really lean into, understanding that like my version of this person has to be deeply imprinted by me, or else like anyone could do it. You know, so finding control in the personalization, or just writing it yourself.
It's funny. I thought this was going to be a question about like, how do you stay feeling productive as an actor, like during quarantine, but it's actually about something that's more interesting, though. I think those two are pretty related. You know, I think the exercise in like, in letting go is a kind of big one, and it can be like universal actually. Cause I think that, not to get too big picture about it, but most of what you do, actually you're a cog in the wheel of it anyway. And it's really highlight. And this is stuff I think a lot about because my life is, you know, under these conditions. And I work really hard at preparing something. So before I even go in and audition, there's a shit ton of back work that's been done. So there's like somebody's life and motivations that at that point I understand. And that is true work. And oftentimes it's not fun, you know what I mean? So oftentimes it's satisfying, but at that point you've created something and you're bringing it in. And it's as fucking valid as the next person's, and it's what makes you less nervous also. And at that point, it's like, are you what fits it or not? But there's a power switch that happens with that mentality that's pretty real. And everybody, I think from my experience with it, everybody clocks it sort of. So I don't feel powerless. Really. And then the final product, like if you think the director is going in there and being like, this is mine, I'm putting it out there, like that's not happening either. That's not happening with the writers. That's not happening with anybody. Everybody's coming together and like, and saying yes or no, and then putting something out there. But you like, I have much as a scene that I'm in, I created that as much as every other main player in it, you know? And I there's something kind of like big picture and true about that, I think.
Yeah.
And then when you talk about, and then the hardest thing about being an actor is like times like this, because I've been working pretty solidly for like 6 years. But even when I'm working, I'll be like in a hotel in New Orleans for like 9 weeks, but I'll work once every 10 days.
Right.
Yeah, so
it's like the worst tour ever. It's like a tour with all the shows canceled, basically, which sounds sort of horrible, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am constantly looking for some kind of outlet that's not quite acting, but that is involved in it. And I to be honest, haven't found a thing that's like been totally satisfying, or has like, you know, I like write something every day. I also live like a retired lady. Like I take online classes, and like I have a philosophy paper due on existentialism.
I love it.
Do you do that too?
So does Cleo.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of like like guitar lessons and like dance classes at 1 p.m. on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
you
actually
need it.
there was
you need
a
hobbies.
there was a
Europe.
moment the other night. There's a moment the other night. We were all like finished. We were all having dinner, and Cleo just got up and left. And it felt like someone said, I forget, that it felt like her like Sims character had just been taken over, and she like went into this other room, and we were all just like sitting at the dinner table, and we just saw Cleo like doing like insane dance moves silently in this room. And we were just like, oh yeah, okay, the video game has like a glitch, like some shit's going on with Cleo, like yeah. Yeah.
I saw that on Instagram. What was that? It was like you like.
I do that every day, Fiona. I'm doing so. I feel the need to dance. I'm so cooped up, and it's the best expression, you know? So I've been doing like Ryan Heffington live Instagram classes. He's from the Sweatshop in LA. He's an amazing choreographer.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. You guys, you have a big outside space, right?
Yeah, but we're keeping it quiet because we don't want everyone to hate us. So we're.
Oh.
I was on the phone with this person just like I don't know, like half an hour ago, and we were supposed to do a FaceTime, but we did a phone call, and she was like, I hate these people who have yards, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, I've been doing. I live in an apartment fourplex, a really old 100-year-old fourplex, and I've been doing CrossFit Zoom classes in front on the porch.
That sounds very you. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Entertainment.
With, like all of the people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't be inside for everything. I'll kill myself. Yeah. I won't really kill myself.
Right. Good. Thank you for clarifying. Well, thank you. We should probably wrap
it up. Hey, thanks everybody. Let me see what everybody said. Blam! Oh my God. Hi, Dave.
Just watch her.
Yeah. If anyone ever wondered what it looked like to be inside Fiona's phone, this is it right now.
Someone asked about Life on Air.
Oh yeah,
you should watch.
Oh
this.
yeah,
I haven't seen it. It's on our. We did an Instagram thing Fiona and I made last year. We don't have plans to bring it back at the moment, but who knows? Haley could live.
Yeah, who knows? Or maybe like a different themed of it.
Yeah, this is a good time to make that kind of content or to watch it if you have not.
How would one watch Life on Air?
You can go to at Life on Air, but the O is 0.
There you go.
The O is 0. Yeah, exactly. Wow, so funny.
What else?
Anyway.
Your face is so red. I know. You know what? You guys are a little sick. But I think it's very light COVID. Don't worry.
That's a bomb to drop at the end of this conversation, Fiona. Jesus. Are you feeling okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I think I might just be like an evil carrier, which goes with my brand wonderfully.
Evil carrier.
Asymptomatic.
Yeah. You should put that on your Riot page, actually. Evil carrier.
Mortal sin.
Forever. Okay. On that note, thank you so much, Fiona.
We
Thanks
love you. What are you gonna do?
No.
What's one fun thing you're gonna do today to entertain yourself?
Oh, I'm watching Satan Tango by Bellatar, 7-hour movie. Oh, you know what I forgot to say? Well, no, I'll say it next time. Bye, guys. I love you.
What the hell? We're just gonna be wondering all night. All right. Love
see
you.
ya.
Bye.
Ah.